Have you ever found yourself doing new things that excited you, but for some reason you never finished them? Or even worse, you find something that's very amazing, like starting a business, but for some reason you keep yourself from getting started. And your brain is telling you all the good reason why you should wait to do so. I mean, you could wait for a better time to start your business because, let's face it, it's a lot of work to start a business and it might be better to do it in the holidays, right? And that, my friend, is called self-sabotage. And my goal for this video is to help you get unstuck so that you can break these self-sabotaging behaviors once and for all. So if you are struggling with self-sabotage, watch this video completely till the end and subscribe to the channel. But what exactly is self-sabotage? I define self-sabotaging behavior as follows. When a person deliberately hinders their success and well-being by undermining personal goals and values. You know, self-sabotage is a purely emotional and value-based thing because logically we know exactly what needs to be done to achieve our goals in life, but in reality we find ways to keep ourselves from getting there. It's kind of like having an evil little person on your shoulder and its only purpose and fulfillment is to sabotage your success. And self-sabotage is happening in many shapes and forms. For example, starting things but never finishing them, not starting things at all, or making up lists of reasons why you can't do something that you should be doing so that you can achieve your goals. And these three symptoms are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many, many more. But once you have noticed that you're sabotaging yourself, you need to understand why you're doing it in the first place so that you can beat this self-sabotaging behavior once and for all. Let me know in the comments if you want a more complete list of all the symptoms of self-sabotage, and I will put the list in the pinned comment of this video. After I was knowing how self-sabotage looked like on a day-to-day basis, I was asking myself why we entrepreneurs are suffering from it so much. And after thinking about it, it made sense because we are almost all the time alone in our decision making. We're also facing many uncertainties about the future and we see our business as extension of ourselves. We become our businesses, if you want to call it that way. We've all been there with self-doubts, imposter syndrome and procrastination. And that's why it's even more important to know why we as entrepreneurs are suffering even more from self-sabotage than other people. The first reason why you sabotage yourself is simply fear and self-preservation. Your brain wants to save yourself from potential failure because you might leave your comfort zone. New things are typically scary for the unconscious mind and it gives you the illusion that it's better to stay in the comfortable known than to go out and pursue your goals because there's a chance you can fail. And from an evolutionary standpoint, your subconscious mind wants to protect you from any pain that you could experience. It doesn't matter if it's real or if it's just in your head. But in reality, it's much more painful to stay where you're at right now for the rest of your life, filled with regret while you're telling yourself things like, how would have my life been if I just went for it? Self-preservation is by far the easiest reason for self-sabotage that you can fix because it requires you to just get on the path of achieving your goals. And when you start it, you can maybe just continue for a little bit and you might find yourself even enjoy the things that you need to do in order to achieve your goals. It all comes down to stopping to be paralyzed by leaving the comfort zone every single day. Make it a habit. The next reason why you might self-sabotage is imposter syndrome. Sometimes you think that you don't deserve to achieve your goal, and that's because deep down inside you think that you're unworthy or you even feel guilty of something unethical that you're doing. And it might not even be a thing that you're doing right now. It could also be a thing that you did in the past that is still holding you back today. And if you feel unworthy of your goal, you will actually find a way to sabotage yourself so that you stay where you're at right now. And I can even make practical examples here. You feel that you don't deserve to have a 6 or 7-figure business because you feel like you're taking advantage of people. This could be by lying just to make a sale or selling a product that you know is bad but it is still making you money. You feel that you don't deserve to have a great body because you eat foods that you know you shouldn't be eating if a healthy and good-looking body is your goal. In your relationships, it could be that you feel unworthy of having a loving partner because you cheated in the past. So you find ways to stop yourself from committing to a person by getting rid of your current partner. And that is why I can't stand it when people recommend fake it till you make it, or when they do like these I am affirmations. Because simply saying 20 times in the mirror that you're rich and successful doesn't make you rich and successful. I coach so many people, and one of the main things we talk about after they achieve their first goals is that they feel unworthy of what they have achieved. They are at this point where they think that they didn't achieve it because of their skills, but out of pure luck, and they don't think they could do it again. They basically get stuck at level 2. And think about it just for a second. If you want to achieve your next goal, but you think you're unworthy of it, don't you think your subconscious mind will find effective ways to make excuses so that you can't get there? So yes, fake it till you make it might give you some good feelings in the short term and even some small wins, but in the long term you will suffer badly from imposter syndrome. Trust me. And to stop the negative self-talk, you need to release the stories that are holding you back and start living truthfully. And from now on, be brutally honest with yourself and with others, and you won't sabotage yourself anymore because of imposter syndrome. Number 3, if you're struggling with self-sabotage and you don't even know why, then you might have a value system that is not aligned with your goals. And this is the root of 90% of all self-sabotage. The reality is that most people aren't sabotaging themselves in the first place. They're just liking the idea of the goal they want to achieve, but at the same time, they're placing a higher value on a different kind of activity. And most of the time, they conflict. If you're working as a sales rep and you want to increase your income by 20% next month by making more phone calls, but you find yourself procrastinating on those phone calls, then you are associating more value to comfort than to your income. And if you want to dive deeper into the topic of values, then I highly recommend reading this book right here. So what you need to do right now is to align your goals that you want to achieve with your value system. And fortunately, that is pretty straightforward because it's only a 2-step process. Step number 1, you need to identify the habits that you need to establish in order to achieve your goals. And it's important that you think about activities and not about end goals. Because if you focus on the habits, the result will come as a byproduct. For example, if you want to increase your sales in your business, start doing more calls. Then you need to assign the value that you need to establish the habit long term. It could be enjoying talking to new people, financial growth, or helping others solve their problems. Step number 2, do the same things you did in step 1, but with the difference that you're doing it with your current situation. So if you find yourself stuck in your income level in your business, think about the activity that you're not doing, like phone calls, and the values that you have right now that are keeping you from making those calls. Maybe you're just too comfortable or you don't like to talk to people. And when you've identified those, you need to change these values to the ones that we identified in step 1, and you have to live them truthfully day by day. Just take your time here and repeat the process for all the parts of your life where you want to stop self-sabotage. Unfortunately, stopping self-sabotage is only half the battle. It's like breaking free from chains that have tied you up for a long time, and now you're finally able to move. However, you still need to identify habits that allow you to move towards your goals day by day, because otherwise you're staying where you're at right now. And if you want to know the habits that made me a millionaire in my 20s, watch the video right here.